It's an oath that you give on that person's intention. Okay? You get that one? So, let's say for example...
Talk about the cousin's house. You talked about the cousin's house? Like the mum says, did you go to your cousin's house?
Oh yeah, that's a good example actually. So, you said to your mum you're going to go to your cousin's house, and then you went to your cousin's house, then you went George Street, the city, wherever you... bad places, whatever's going on. William Street. Okay? And then your mum saw you, she said later on, where'd you go? Did you go to your cousin's house? And you say yes. Are you lying or not lying? Are you lying or not lying? So are you lying or not lying? It's a yes or no question. Okay, so Shar'an, you're not lying. Because did you go to your cousin's house?
Yes,
right, you did go to your cousin's house. So you Shar'an, you're only accountable for the words that are spoken. You don't have to interpret people's words. Okay? So you don't have to go, did you go to your cousin's house? No. What if she asked, did you go to your cousin's house? And you said no. Are you lying?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
So is the converse not true then? Did you go to your cousin's house? You went. Mahak or not? Yeah? Yep. You went. But if she says to you, Wallahi, did you go to your cousin's house? Right? Now she means that you only went to your cousin's house. Isn't that what she means?
Yeah.
So when it's an oath, you have to look into what people mean. That's the difference. Okay? You with me? Or if she asked you, where did you go? And you said, your cousin's house? Oh, I went to my cousin's house. And then she says, Wallahi, did you go? Or in the Arabs they say, Billahi alayk. By Allah, which means the same thing. The Wallahi or Billahi alayk, or Billahi or Tallahi, all these things. They said, Wallahi, did you go to your cousin? Then you walk in, what's then? What do you have to say then?
No.
What do you have to say then?
Say no.
What about everyone else? What's everyone?
Say yes, you did go, but you went.
Okay, so you have to say no in that response. Why? Why is if she doesn't ask you to take an oath, you can say yes, you went to your cousin's house. But if she asks you to take an oath, you have to say no. Not you two. Not you either. Come in. Why?
Because you didn't just go to cousin's house, you went to another place.
Okay, why is an oath different to a normal speech?
It's because you have to go by the intention.
MashaAllah, alhamdulillah. Alright, didn't we just say that? Well, it was too hot in here to concentrate. We'll take off and we'll just wear our singlets and things. Okay? Didn't we just say that? Oath is in accordance with the person asking you to take the oath. The truth of the matter is not your intention. Your intention, I went to my cousin's house, then I went wherever I went when A'udhu Billah Ta'ala. Okay? But the intention of the person asking, if it's an oath only, and like people think it's weird, but when the Prophet ﷺ, when he made his hijrah, he came up to the man, a shepherd guy, and he said, what's your name? He said, Abdullah. He said, where are you from? He said, Min ma'. I'm from water. Is he lying?
No.
Is he lying?
No.
Is he lying, the Prophet? No, he doesn't lie. He can't lie. Prophets can't lie. Ma'sumin. Alright? What if the guy said, Wallahi, or by Allah, where are you from? What would he have to say? The Prophet ﷺ in that hijrah. Calm down. What would he have to say?
You actually came from.
Okay, mashallah. Which is where? Mecca, mashallah alayka. Allah yabarik fika. Iftah alayka. Alright, you see the difference? So if someone's asking you, you can pick your own, so in other words, you can interpret their question as you see fit, within the confines of the words. Okay? But if someone asks you an oath, if someone says to you, by Allah, where are you from? Or, Wallahi, tell me where you're from, you can't interpret the words. You have to interpret the intention of the person. So if you're not sure, you have to ask them. So exactly what do you mean by that? Oh, like, you know, just now, when you just came, the last place that you came from, before I saw you right now, where were you? In the situation of the Prophet ﷺ. Or the story of your mother, if she asks you, Wallahi, where did you go? Well, then you have to ask her, do you mean the last place I came from? If you said the last place you came from and that was wherever, somewhere no good, then you got to say that. Or do you mean the first place I came from, went to? So you have to make sure, because if you swear according to your intention and the intention of the person is different, what happens? It's haram. And you get sins on it when a'udhu billahi ta'ala. Alright? Now. That's all? Are you sure?
Yeah. There's just about.
There's an important thing. If someone asks you to swear by something, you got to be certain about it. So if someone says to you, I don't know, like an example, swear that you saw so and so, Mr. X, somewhere in Auburn Shopping Centre, and you thought you saw him. You're pretty sure more, because if you saw him now, you're going to remember. Last month in January, did you see Mr. So and so at Auburn Central? And you're pretty sure you did, but you're not sure. All right, you can't take an oath on pretty sure, could have been, probably, possibly. You have to be 100% sure. If you do and it's wrong, it's haram. It's actually haram to take the oath if you're not 100% sure, even if you're right. Okay, so if someone said, did you see whatever, Mr. So-and-so, Miss So-and-so, whoever it might be, and you're not sure, you can't swear, so I don't know. And that's if it's an oath, and same in the court, which we're going to think, this one's Fajr, Shahadat al-Zur. And that's what leads on to today's class, inshallah. So any questions about any of that? Alright, it's a dangerous area. Taking oaths and making vows, and like we said, with a vow, it's better to leave it, because the Prophet said, Allah Azza wa Jalla says in the Hadith Qudsi that Allah accepts the dua of the believer, except if they get, is that the Maghrib? Except if they're in a hurry. Alright, if they're in a hurry to get, oh, Allah's not giving me what I want, or it's not happening, blah blah blah, then Allah won't accept that person's dua. Won't accept it. They won't get nothing better in the hereafter. Allah won't take away calamity for them in this life, nor will Allah give them what they want. So that's why we don't do the nadhr. Oh, I promise to do this, and I promise to do that, and I promise to do this. Still haven't looked it up for you actually. Sorry, my bad. I'll look it up, isn't it? Alright, so stay away from making that oath. Wallahi, if this happens, Ya Allah, I'm going to give some money. It's better to stay away from it. Just be patient, persevere, and Allah will alleviate whatever difficulty you have, inshallah. Yeah, make that in. الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا يوافي نعمه ويكافئ مزيدا والصلاة والسلام على خير الأنام وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم إننا نوينا التعلم والتعليم والتذكر والتذكير والنفع والانتفاع والإفادة والاستفادة والدعاء إلى الهدى والضلالة على الخير والحث والتمسك بكتاب الله وسنة رسول الله ابتغاء مرضات الله وقربه وثوابه سبحانه وتعالى. Praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a praise that's worthy of a beneficent bestower of bounties and favours, and we ask our Lord Most High to send copious and unlimited and eternal blessings upon our beloved Prophet Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi sallam. Amma ba'd, قال المؤلف رحمه الله سبحانه وتعالى وإياك ثم إياك واليمين الفاجر فإنها تضع الديار بلاقع أي خرابا وتغمس صاحبها في نار جهنم.
Never swear falsely, for this destroys homes and plunges the one who does it in the fire of hell.
Yeah, keep going.
Beware greatly of false testimony.
It's pretty quick in English. Alright? So he says, وَإِيَّاكَ ثُمَّ إِيَّاكَ. Now in English, what does he say?
Never swear falsely.
It's a bit more heavy duty than that. It's like beware and beware. Danger. Something serious. إِيَّاكَ ثُمَّ إِيَّاكَ. Right? Like, you need to watch out. You need to watch out. Be careful. Be very careful. So it's the double whammy. He didn't just say it once, he said it twice. Iyaka. He says, what? Iyaka. Thumma iyaka in Arabic. So it's a stern warning. Not just a stern warning, a stern warning. Alright? He says, Bil-Yamin al-Fajir. Al-Yamin al-Fajir it's known as the Al-Yamin al-Kadhib and Al-Yamin al-Ghamusa also. Because as soon as a person takes an oath that's a false oath, they know it's a false oath, straight away Allah dunks them in the fire of Jahannam. Al-Ghamusa, that's why it's called Al-Ghamusa. Yughmasuhum, and He puts them, subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the hellfire instantly. All their rewards go, all their good deeds go, all their actions go, everything's finished. Because when you go to Jahannam, it's over. Alright? فَإِنَّهَا تَضَعَ الدِّيَارُ بَلَاعِقَ. So he says, خَرَابًا. It destroys homes. It destroys people's homes. In other words, it destroys the foundations of people's lives. Because especially if a person is constantly doing it, and why does it destroy homes? Because, and he talks about it in the next place, or I talked about it before, that if you take a false oath and someone loses their property, right? You take a false oath. Oh, two people had a contract, you were the witness, verbal contract. Oh, did so-and-so say that? No, when they did. Destroying people's homes as well. Not only your own home, because of that individual, inshallah, not us. The individual who takes those false oaths, not only are they destroying their own home or their own livelihood, they're destroying others as well. They're taking away the sitra, one of the foundational aspects of their life. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he says, Al-ghamusa wa taghmisu sahibaha fin-nar jahannam. So the person who's taking false oaths, automatically, Allah dunks him, metaphorically speaking, and then later on figuratively speaking, in the hellfire. وَاحْذَرْ كُلَّ الْحَذَرْ مِنْ شَهَادَةِ الزُّورِ فإنها من أكبر الكبائر وقد قربها عليه الصلاة والسلام بالشرك بالله.
Beware greatly of false testimony, for it is one of the greatest sins, and the Prophet ﷺ has associated with idolatry.
Has anyone ever heard that before? Never heard it before. They remember when we did the sins afat al-lisan, vices of the tongue. Remember the prophetic hadith. Nah, it's too hot. My brain's melting. All right. We took it. We spent a while on it. Why did we say? Sorry, so you don't remember. Some of you do. He says, "Wahdar kull al-hadar." Yani be extraordinarily careful, vigilant from giving false testimony. In other words, from not speaking the truth. Nahak shahada. He says it's called shahadat al-zur. So why did the Prophet say that shahadat al-zur is like shirk billah? We talked about this for a while. And to leave us alone, let someone else have a go. Sure, who can remember? Why? One is false testimony. One is the testimony of faith. That's a hint. That should recall track something in your mind. On the Day of Judgment, when the people of Nuh, Allah calls them and says, Noah, He says, it says to the people, did Nuh alayhi salam pass the message? What do they say? Say no. What Nuh? The ones that didn't believe. They said, what Nuh? I mean, what? He wasn't even around. Then who does Nuh call? Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam. Who does he call to bear witness that he passed the message? Alright? The ummah of the Prophet of Allah salam. Okay? So why is bearing false testimony tantamount to shirk?
Because they rely on our
Your whole belief is based on the testimony.
Okay? Everything you believe, what's it? It's your word. It's a word. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Is it not? Isn't that what we believe? Don't you believe that? Ashhadu wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. So now, what's your word worth? If you're gonna, if that individual's gonna come along and they're gonna give false testimony, say, yeah, this happened, I was there and I saw this. The car was, the good old car accident or the lebo back job or whatever you want to call it. Whatever happened, that's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. We're supposed to be the people of truth, and the people of righteousness, and the people, we never lie. We're never supposed to lie. And if anyone has got any idea of the workers' compensation, they call it lebo back. You know what? They call it lebo back. Why? Because all of a sudden the guy hurts his back, so to speak, and then he has to make compensation claim so he can get money. And unfortunately, it's a Lebanese trait. And as a solicitor, how many times I've seen the guys at the markets on Saturday carrying 2 boxes of oranges, walking this, that, and then they film him and they say, "What sore back?" Or the report from the doctor comes, the client wasn't even trying. He was pretending that he was something wrong. There's nothing wrong. And then we ask ourselves, why are we in the state we're in? Why doesn't Allah give us nusra? Why is the Muslims down? And then we're what? It's America, Israel, Zionists, Mossad, MI5, MI6, CIA, KGB, 2GB, whatever it is. Right? It's everyone else's fault. It's never our fault. It's never our fault. We're innocent. Come on, brother. I'm innocent. We're the victim, always the victim. But it should be that when you buy a car, if you see it's in Greenacre or Lakemba, oh, no, that's where I'm going to buy my car from. Because there should be the truth, the most truthful people. What happens if you, not me, or me, see a car and it's in Lakemba, Greenacre? Scroll to the next one. Don't even bother. Where do you go? St. Ives, Urunga, those areas, the Epping. What, is it true or not? Deadly true. If you want a tradesman to come and work, plumber, electrician, surveyor, whatever it might be. Alright, whatever, you need someone to come and do something, and the guy's name's Ali, Muhammad, Mustafa, what? Find someone called David or Mick or Bruce or something like that. Because it's going to be, that's the most shameful thing that we could have. That's the most shameful thing that could be associated to us as a ummah. Don't worry about everything else. He prays, he doesn't pray. That's between you and Allah. Fast, doesn't fast. Leave that person to Allah. Hijab, not hijab. Alright, there's a bit of an issue. Shorts, not shorts. Alright, there's a bit of an issue. But the worst possible thing. The worst possible thing. And then don't forget, signing on the dotted line, send link. Did you work in the last 2 weeks? No. And he worked. He's working full time. He has to take the day off to go give the Centrelink form in. I don't know if they still do that, but as an example. Working normal, order. And he hasn't been like that for a month, or a year, or 2 years, or 5 years, or 10 years, or 20 years, 30 years. 30 years. And some of them, mashallah, big beards, and there's full sunnah, and they only pray in the mosque first row, and his whole life's a lie. Or he says he can't work and there's nothing wrong with him. Or they say they're divorced, whatever, separated, and they're not. They get a legal divorce. That's us. And you know it and I know it. And I'm not talking about people I don't know. I'm talking about people who are close to me and family and friends and what. And then what happened to Bani Israel? What happened? What's the story about Bani Israel? The people, remember that in the verse of the Qur'an, Allah Azza wa Jalla says Allah Azza wa Jalla said to them, don't fish on the Sabbath. The Sabbath being the Saturday. So from Maghrib, from now it's Maghrib of Saturday, until tomorrow Maghrib, no fishing. Jews are not allowed, at that time they weren't allowed to fish, Bani Israel. So what did they do? They put their nets just before Maghrib, on like just about half an hour ago, a bit more, and they picked them up a little bit, later on, full. Then Allah said, the Prophet told him, what he's doing, you can't do that, it's playing tricks. It's their own interpretation. And they told them, they didn't listen. So some people, there were 3 different types of people. There were the types of people that did it and didn't care. There were the types of people that told them it's wrong but still hung around with them. And there were the types of people that left the area. Who got destroyed? The types of people that did it, and the types of people that told them it's wrong but stayed with them. Because when you stay with that person, socialize with that person, keep doing business with that person, you're telling them, oh, it's alright. Even though verbally saying it's not alright. The only people that survived are the people that said it's wrong and disassociated themselves with them. When they still didn't respond, they left. They went away from them, being their relatives, be it whatever what. But without niyat qat al-riham, without the intention of breaking ties. And you have to verbalize it to somebody. You have to let them know that this is the reason why I am not associating with you. When you drink alcohol at your home, whatever. All the haram things that are there. Okay? So if our relatives, our family are doing that, you've got to let them know. With a reasonable way, nice way. I heard, I learnt, isn't it better? Is this wrong? Is it right? Whatever. Until the point where you say, listen champ, you go your way, I'll go mine. If it's a relative, you still have to visit them, SMS them, call them, visit them once, twice a year, whatever it might be. You can't cut off totally relations with them unless they're doing something so huge, because you're going to be associated with them. That's it, you're associated. Once you're associated, you're part of that thing. So our most important thing, the old days, I remember when we were young, our Anglo-Saxon friends, our white friends, that's it. Everything was done on a handshake and a word. That's it. I gave you my word, mate. That's it. The bloke doesn't go back. And don't forget the Arabs weren't like that. Arabs were like that. The Arabs were like that. 100% they were like that. Once they gave their word, the Prophet ﷺ did a trade before he was a Nabi. Right? He did a trade and the guy didn't have change. He said, wait here, I'll be back. He waited hours and hours and hours and told him, I'm going to wait. The Prophet ﷺ, I'm going to wait. He waited, went home, came back the next day and waited for him. And the guy sitting, he goes, oh, he's still here. He goes, yeah, I told you I was going to wait. Like, it seems a bit weird to us. But he told the guy, he gave his word. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry. He goes, mate, you killed my life, so to speak. Made my life more difficult than it needs to be. So our word, that's our badge of honor. That's our respect. And then we say, why does no one respect us? Habibi, 3 o'clock doesn't mean 3:30. Mahak wallah. After Asr, alright, you got scope. Before Maghrib, alright, you got scope. But 3 o'clock is 3 o'clock. That's it. No questions asked. Alright, you're running late, you take care of the thing, but if I'm perpetually late, then I've got a problem. I've got a problem. That's a sign when of nifaq, that you give a promise and you can't fulfill it. So our word is everything for us. Our word, if you can't, again, like the oath, if you're not certain of it, don't give your word. I'll do my best. Possibly I'll get there. Maybe, maybe not. And my friend of mine this back in the day is studying international business, and he did a course. He was going to go work in Dubai. And what's the first thing they told him about? The punctuality of the Arabs. They said if they come 3 hours late, it's normal. Is that a Muslim? 3 hours late, is that, if they tell you 1 o'clock and they come 4 or 5, it's okay. Or the other one is, they know they can't do it. Bro, can you go tomorrow and pick up this thing? Yeah, brother, no worries, I'll be there. It doesn't even show up, not even interested in it, doesn't let you know. If you can't do it, don't make the promise, because your word is everything. And the more you live like that, guess what? The happier your life will be. The more relaxed and at peace, because these things have a spiritual weight. They weigh you down. When this bloke starts cussing you, where is this guy? This, this, whatever the story is, that's got a spiritual weight to it. That's got an effect to it. And the more when a person, their word that means nothing, the less respect they have. And the more spiritual baggage they're carrying around, that makes it difficult for them to progress to Allah Azza wa Jal. So, it's a very serious thing. It's a very serious thing. To the point where the Prophet said, it's almost like shirk. It's almost like shirk, because your word doesn't mean anything. That person's word doesn't mean anything anymore. It's got no value. No one's going to believe that person. Why should someone believe us that our deen is the best, as we believe? Why should someone be convinced that our deen is the right way? Why? If we can't have a word that we follow. It should be that the Muslim doesn't break the law when they drive their car. Every time, every morning, every night when we go and pray in the masjid, like you see 10 traffic infringements in 2 minutes. Everyone's like, what? Like the road's theirs or something? Like they built the road and the rules don't apply to them. How? People are going to see that and go, well, I follow the rules. Go to the North Shore and see how people drive. Go to Manly and the Northern and the Peninsula. See how people drive. They let you in. You don't hear a horn. You drive there for a week. You don't hear anyone beeping anyone. Unless it's a life. Here, when I was a Billah Azza wa Jal, it's like, like we got our license, Tazweer, what do they call it? Tazweer? Fraudulently, they had a big sign. We just stood in front of it, took the license, took the photo and made a fake license for us. Like, we don't even know the road rules. People should come here and feel safe. People should come to our areas where the Muslims are and feel safe. Alhamdulillah, they are safe areas, but they should feel it. They should want to come. They don't want to come. One time we had a group of students from University of Sydney studying media, and we talked to them and we said, let's go Lakemba. They said, what? Lakemba? They think it's like worse than South Central. They think it's like a war zone. And they went and they enjoyed it. They loved it. Everyone was friendly. They felt safe. But the connotation or the thought they had beforehand is that it's not. Because we don't have a word. We can't be trusted. Unfortunately, we can't be trusted. And someone you can't trust, you can't have a relationship with that person. If you can't trust that person's going to be there for you, how are you going to build and have a relationship? It doesn't work. You have to trust that. Whatever kind of relationship it might be. Business, friendship, social, sporting, familial, whatever it might be, marital, whatever kind of relationship it is, if you don't have a trust between them, forget about it. Everyone pack up their bags and go their own way. Alright? So it's like shirk. It means your word's not worth nothing. How am I going to trust your shahada? Alright? وإذا كان كتمان الشهادة من العظائم فما الظن بافترائها. So this is another massive problem that we have. Huge issue that we have in our community. It goes back to the tongue. Remember when we did that? The vices of the tongue? If we can fix our tongues, we can fix ourselves. But that's my view. Allahu alim. Allah knows better. But that's my view. We can control this. We can control ourselves. And we can control each other, bi'idhnillah, and we can live happily ever after. Allah will be happy with us. Allah will give us rida in this life. Ridwan Akbar, give us Jannah in the next life. We can't control it. We get angry, blah 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 blah. Not for a minute, not for 2 minutes, not for 3 minutes, not for half an hour, not for an hour, not for 2 hours, not for half a day, not for a day. Some people a lifetime, they're still upset when they tell them, oh, my parents did. What parents, bro? You're 40 years old. When are you going to grow up? Seriously. When are you going to grow up? So if we can control this tongue, not talking about people, not backbiting, not bitching, for use of a better word, and all these things, complaining all the time, never happy with the order of Allah, never happy with anything. Everyone looks cooler now because we made the decision to be cool. Just because from that decision. And that's all it is with the tongue. Just make the decision. We talked about decisions last week and the week before, how to make those decisions. So, what happens in our community? What does it say again? In English, it says either can. So, the kitman shahada. So, to not give witnessing is bad.
If to abstain from testifying when able to is a great sin.
Okay, hold on. To abstain from testifying when able to. That's our community, huh? I'm a lawyer. I sit and I do affidavits. Affidavit means a document that goes into court, sworn affidavit. It's an oath. You take that what you're saying is the truth. So someone will come, particularly a sister, the most vulnerable people in our society. She doesn't know anything about it. She lives in a house. She pays money. She doesn't know anything. Doesn't even know which bank the mortgage is with. Got no idea. Trying to help her. Well, this happened and that happened and that happened and this happened. Oh, okay, great. Who was there? My auntie, my cousin, my blah, blah, blah. 15, 20 people. Will any of those people do an affidavit to verify what you're saying? She speaks from no, 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 no. Why do you think they all say no? It's not like there's no...
They don't want to go to court.
Eh?
They don't want to go to court.
They don't want to go to court. Why do they want to go to court? Of what?
Getting
Truth.
Getting what?
Getting caught out.
Getting caught out doing what?
Whatever it is
Lying.
they think they're doing.
Well, what are they doing? They just were there witnessing. They weren't doing anything. Why don't they want to go? Okay, they're scared. I'm with you. And they're scared of what? But they're scared of Allah. I wish they're scared of Allah.
They're scared of the person that they're going to testify
We
to.
wish they're scared of themselves. They're liars. A liar knows his word's not going anywhere. Go find out about their lives, those people. All those things we spoke about, or a portion of those things we spoke about, they're doing those things. You with me? So, when a liar doesn't ever want to get caught. They don't want to ever get put in a situation where they have to show evidence. They just tell a story, and it's just a web that we weave when we practice to deceive, as it says. What a tangled web it is. And that's their lives. It's not just like something. That's their whole life is like that. Everything they do is like that. Is that person scared or is that person at ease? Is that person secure or insecure? Confident, inconfident or unconfident? How are they going to go say my word is the truth? Well, they know everything they say in their life just about is a lie. How are they going to go and sit there in a courtroom and say, oh yeah, indeed? What if they get asked the question? That's the other one found out. What if they get asked the question, oh, do you work? Of course he works. Aren't you on Centrelink? Yep. Cash? I work cash. They can't keep a straight story. It's a tangled web. Their life is a tangled web of lies when I hold the billah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So look, here we are a community that we can't speak the truth. Okay? We can't speak the truth. And when asked, we can't respond. What is the truth? Yeah. Shral ulim. Like what? Like, how can we be like that? How can we be like that? How can we exist like that? How can we call ourselves from the ummah of the Prophet of Allah if we're like that? And then we say, Ya Allah, where's the nusra of Allah? What nusra of Allah? What nusra of Allah? The liars, it's the worst sin you can be. It's shirk to be a liar. What do we remember the hadith we kept on repeating, every bad quality, any quality could be attributed to a believer, except two. Who can remember? Lying and treachery. Setting somebody up. Oh, how often does that go on? We set each other up 24. Even with our jokes, we set each other up. Even with our jokes. So don't go tell me Israel, Zionists, America, Trump, this, that, and the other. Don't go telling me that. Oh, I don't accept it. I'm very sorry. And neither should you. Neither should you accept it for yourself or those people that you can influence that are around you. And then, when we tell the truth, then see what happens. Ask Sayyidina Bilal radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Sayyidina Bilal, are you a Muslim? I'm a Muslim. They put the rock on him. Ahadun ahad. That's all he knew. Then later on they asked him. They put him on the coals during the night, hot fire, burn his back, and in the middle of the desert with a massive stone, massive boulder on his chest to break him. Say Lat wal Uzza. Sif. Ahadun ahad. He could have said it to get out of it. Can't he say it? Can't he say it? But that's the real truth. The truth is saying the situation, in other words, expressing the situation, saying the thing, even though you know you're going to be destroyed. Are you with me in that definition? So the truth is making a statement of the reality of the situation, even though the reality of the situation is going to destroy you. That's how the believer is. Don't tell me about what's this idiots over there fighting. They don't have that. They think they're fighting fi sabilillah, jihad. Why jihad? If your word doesn't mean anything, what's the definition of it in terms of battle? لِتَكُونْ كَلِمَةَ اللَّهِ هِيَ الْعُلْيَا. So that the word of Allah is, if your word doesn't mean anything, what are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? What are you trying to prove? What are you trying to prove? To who? Trying to prove. And the Prophet said it. He said the man will come, he'll die to shaheed, and on the day of judgment, and Allah will say to him, what'd you do for me? He said, I battled for you and I died. And he goes, you're a liar. You died. So people say you're a champ. You're a tough guy. You know, you're a hero. Hard. There's no other words. Tell me, help me out. What are the words that they just use? He's a sick something or other. Sick, this, top bloke, whatever it is. That's all. You want to be known as something.
A lion of Allah, they say.
Whatever, man, lion. Pussycat of Allah, alright? If your word doesn't mean anything, how are you going to give your life? How's your life going to mean anything to Allah? Ask Abdullah bin Jahsh. Him and Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas, and they're on the way, fi sabilillah, and then they said to each other before they get there, look, let's all make dua, and then the other one will say Ameen, so Allah accepts. So Sayyidina Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas said to him, look at the story. Look at the story. He said to him, Ya Allah, let me meet one of their best fighters and we fight each other, then I kill him and I take the bounty. And then Abdullah bin Jahsh said, Ameen. Then Abdullah is a bit more simple. He goes, Ya Rasul, Ya Allah, let me come against one of their best fighters. And he kills me and he cuts off my ears and he cuts off my nose and he gouges out my eyes. So on the day of judgment when you say to me, what did you do for my deen? I said that I got my eyes gouged out, my nose cut off and my ears chopped off. The fight happened, it finished, and Sayyidina Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas, he went looking for Sayyidina Abdullah bin Jahsh. And he came across what? His face. He was dead. And what happened? His eyes were gouged out, his ears were chopped, and his nose was chopped. They were hung on a string. And he said that his dua was better than my dua. And one of the other Sahabis, same thing, they did exactly the same thing. And then he said in his dua, Ya Allah, let an arrow come or a spear come and strike me right here. And guess what happened? Same, because they lived truthfully. So they died truthfully. Rijalun sadaqu ma ahadallah alayh. They were people who were truthful to their oath, their promise, their word. Because ashhadu an la ilaha illallah is the promise. Kul ummah, it says, the Prophet says, Kul ummati dakhala jannah illa man abah. He said, all my ummah, they enter the paradise except those who reject. So who Rasulullah, who reject? Man atani dakhala jannah man asani faqad aba. Those who fulfill the word, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, who fulfill the word they pronounce by their actions and obey me, they're in Jannah. And those who reject me, or those who disobey me, they've rejected me. So that word, because our word's easy today, because our words, because of the environment we live in and the people we associate with and our social media, everyone's talking, blah, blah, blah 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 blah. So the kind of the impetus that's placed on words isn't paramount in our understanding of the meaning of the words, because it's just words. Go see the old people. Go see the real old people. When they used to sit in the circle, do you think they're just blabbering on like us? Everyone's waiting for his turn or her turn to talk. They weren't. There was more silence there than there was talk. There was more minutes of silence amongst them than there was minutes of talking. Because they had a connection. They had a sakina in their hearts. We talk because we're sakina meaning tranquility in their hearts. Jazakallah khairan. Our hearts we're all over the place because it's all happening the whole time. So we want to talk to make ourselves feel comfortable, not to pass anything on. Just that I talked, or I don't have to feel nervous or uncomfortable or whatever the case might be. Alright, so again, we're just going back to that vices of the tongue stuff that we did a couple of months ago. The tongue, and the Prophet, the hadith, he says it. He said, it's a long hadith. I think we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago. Rasulullah, tell me how to enter Jannah and get away from the hellfire, fast and pray and do all these things. Do you know what's better than that? To go fi sabilillah. Do you know what the malak al-shay, the king of all that stuff is? Kuf alayka bihada, he said. People only get thrown in the hellfire, the ones who fast, the ones who pray, the ones who go to Hajj, the ones who give zakat. The only reason they end up in Jannah is because of their tongues. Alright? So, they can't even give testimony to tell what the truth is. Their lives are based on falsehood. They're not going anywhere. It says, نسأل الله العافية والسلامة قبل حصول الندامة. What does it say?
What then must be the case with deliberate falsification?
Hey, we missed that part. Jazakallah khair. Alright? So if the person, because what does Allah say in the Qur'an? وَلَا تَكْتِمُ الشَّهَادَةِ. Do not withhold giving evidence. It's a farad to do that. Because what happens? Enmity between people. That means the haqq isn't on earth. The truth isn't spread throughout earth. If I know something and I know two people are an issue about it, I have to say it. Especially if it's in a court of law. And they got that rule in Australia. It's called a subpoena. If someone knows something they don't want to say, they bring him to court. If they don't respond to the subpoena, they put a warrant out for their arrest and they bring him to court. What happened? We want to get to the bottom of this. Justice has to be served. Okay? But us, we just play it off. And look, don't think we're not affected by that. That's a cultural deficiency. And because we grew up in that culture, no matter how intelligent we think we are, when I'm talking about people that are educated and they speak English and etc. and etc. and etc. and etc. When push comes to shove, they're like, oh, I don't want to get involved. What? Don't get involved. You're a Muslim. How can there be an oppression anywhere on earth that doesn't concern you? Muslim or not Muslim? Human or not human? There should not be an oppression on earth that you're not concerned with. At least minimum, making dua. Minimum. Ya Allah, the forests. Ya Allah, the dolphins. Ya Allah, whatever. Whatever it might be. Don't think it's like, oh no, we only make dua for Palestine. Yeah, we make dua for Palestine. We make dua for the Muslims, but those things are a concern. If we're not asking Allah to change those situations, what are we asking Allah for then? What are we wasting our dua on? Ya Allah, I need a new pair of Nike Air Max TN, whatever they're called. Is that what our dua is for? Ma'alash, make that dua. But also make the dua for the things going on around you. And the thing is, we live in a world where you can find out about this stuff. Right? 5 years ago, before Facebook, 10 years ago, whenever it was, well, you didn't know. But now you can avail yourself. All those different sites that tell you, whatever they're called, pages that tell you what's going on. Alright? So, that's bad enough as it is not to say it. What about false testimony? Oh, it's from a kaba'ir. It's from a major sin. Alright, then he says, we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to what?
For safety before the advent of regret.
Okay? So don't fall into what he's saying. And the Arabs have a saying that al-waqaya khayrun min alfi ilaj. That prevention is better than 1,000 cures. One drop of, that's how, if we say it in English, one drop of prevention is better than 1,000 drops of cure. Medicine, in other words. So don't fall into that trap. Don't put yourself in a situation. Live your life in a righteous manner. Live your life by truth. And then if you do, Allah Azza wa Jalla will make the truth not only will it come easy on your tongue, not only will it yimba, it'll flow from your heart, it'll be illuminated on your face, and it'll be reflected in your actions. It'll be reflected in your actions. And then not only that, you'll be the cause for the change of injustice to justice on this earth, inshaAllah Azza wa Jal. And the purpose of your life will be fulfilled. The purpose of your life will be fulfilled, inshaAllah. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi.